Customizing your invoices helps you put your best foot forward whenever you communicate with your customers. Let's go over how to update your invoices so that they match your company's branding, and how to choose what your customers see and don't see on the invoices you send. First, select Settings, then Custom Form Styles. Every company starts with a standard style for sales forms. This is your default template. You can select New Style and start from scratch to create a style for one specific form, or just edit the standard style to make changes to all your forms at once. In this video, we will show you how to create a new customized template for an invoice. Go to New Style and select Invoice. Let's start in the Design tab. This is where you decide the overall look of the template. Select Change Up the template and select a template as per your liking to decide the basic layout. Every good sales form needs a logo. Just select Make Logo Edits and then select Add a Logo. Select the box with the plus symbol, then browse to upload your company's logo. Finally, select Save. The colors on your forms change based on the colors of your logo, but you can select Try Other Colors and then choose a color to change that. You can also change your font by selecting Select a different font, then choosing the required font. From Edit Print Settings, you can change your layout settings, like the page margins. Select Use Letterhead Paper. If you want to, you print your forms onto letterhead paper. By selecting Fit to Window Envelope, you can also lay out forms so that when they're printed, they fit into a windowed envelope. This, however, isn't available if you chose the Fresh or Bold template above. Select Content to update what info you want to include on your forms. Forms have 3 sections: the header, table, and footer. Select any of these sections to edit them. In the header, you can choose which contact information you want to include when you send forms to customers. The form names appears towards the top, but you can turn this option off. And you can also change the name of each form. For instance, if you send quotes instead of estimates, just replace it. Most businesses include the transaction number, but you can turn it off by selecting Use Custom Transaction Numbers. You can also choose whether or not you want to number transactions manually. Finally, choose whether or not you want to show shipping info, terms, and even custom fields. These options depend on your company's sales settings. Information about what you're charging your customer for is in the Table section. An account summary is optional, but it's handy if you send invoices to customers who already have balances. With the Show on Invoice option turned on, your customer sees what they owed before the invoice as a balance forward, new charges, or the total amount due. Go to the Activity table to customize the details about the products and services you're charging a customer for. This is where you can edit and reorder the service date, name of the product or service, description, tax, quantity, rate, total amount, and SKU fields. Your customer will see only those fields which you have selected with a check mark, so you can choose what's shown and what's not. You can change the order the fields are listed in. Just drag it to where you want it to go, like this. Select Edit Labels and Widths to change the column labels and widths. Enter the new label in its field and use the bar to shrink or widen a column width. Column sizes have a finite space, so you may need to shrink one before you can widen another. There are a few more activity options available. You can decide if you want to group your invoices by time or type, whether or not you want to show how much of an estimate has been invoiced through progress invoicing, and how you want markups for billable expenses to appear. These additional features appear if you turn them on in your settings. The last section is the footer. This is where you can include information about discounts you've given a customer, the deposits you've received from them, or your tax summary. Also, if you're creating an invoice based on an estimate, you can choose to include a summary. Turn on the options which you want to show to your customer. You can also personalize your messages to customers on invoices. You can change the font size if required. You may choose to add your payment details in the field provided here. Finally, there is an optional field to add a footer text that appears at the very bottom of an invoice. This is usually used for disclaimers. Here again, you can change the font size and the alignment of the footer text. You can also customize the emails that you send to your customer with an invoice by selecting Emails. Select the sales form type, in this case, Invoice. Then select if you want the full details or only the summarized details of your invoice to appear in your email. You can also choose to attach your invoice as a PDF in the email by selecting PDF Attached. You can customize your subject line in your standard email as well as the invoice payment reminder email that you send to your customer. You can then select whether you want to use a greeting as well as the type of greeting you want to use. Further, you can choose how you wish to address your customer by selecting the appropriate name format. And finally, you can customize the message you want to send to your customer. Select Preview PDF if you wish to see a preview of the customized invoice template which you just created. When you've finished, select Done. You can customize other sales forms like estimates and sales receipts in a similar way. Now you're ready to customize your invoices you send to customers.